Hello YouTube, I had somebody recommend that I do this video as a request, and the irony is that they mentioned it the day my sister bought me the Dungeon Dice game. And there's going to be a lot to explain, and then I'll go get straight into the details. So this game is obviously based on dice and the monsters you have on your field and the cards itself, and it's different from playing the actual trading card game. So what will happen is that like you won't play any monster, but you're playing as the monster lord. So this indicates you as the player, and from what I gathered, if you start off with 3 life points, if they manage to get rid of all 3 life points, game over. And here, obviously, we have the dice as well as the monsters. These dice are really important because you roll 4, and depending on the symbols, determines the actions that you take. And to keep track of your symbols and your actions, we have the crest counters. So basically what happens, you go up 1 depending on what you roll from the die, so you can guarantee that's what your roll was. The roll that you made is based on the crest counter, so you could keep track of it and ensure that you don't get confused and your opponent is aware that that's what you rolled, as before you move the crest counter upwards. Here we have the dungeon pieces. So basically with the dungeon pieces, you need to make a path so you can help move your monsters. So in order to move your monsters, you have to, it all depends on what you roll based on the die when it's going upwards. And each time you make a path, the whole point is you want to make a path to get to your opponent's monster lord, and then the amount of times, like I mentioned, the amount of times you attack your opponent's monster lord can help you determine your win. And if you want to learn more about this game, it's also best to also watch the anime, the Dungeon Dice capsule, or capsule monsters. There's also where Yugi faces off against Duke Devlin. You could pretty much learn from that duel also, and there's also a game guide on top of it. Also, I want to mention their stats too. First, you have the you have the HP, attack, and defense. So what happens that depending on what the die you roll is whether you can decide whether you can attack or defend, and their level is also depending on what crest you roll in order to summon the monsters. I will show you the dies later. But what happens if if you have, let's say your creature has an attack of 20 and your opponent has a monster with the HP of 10. If you have the attack crest and it manages to attack the creature and it does 20 damage to the creature with 10 HP is automatically destroyed. But if your opponent decides to attack a defending creature and you have a defense crest, what will happen is obviously if your creature has more defense, so for example he has 30, your creature has 20, if they attack the defending creature and it's like less than its defense, they actually take damage. They deal damage to HP equal to that amount by the difference. And I'm going to show you the dice, for example, that can determine levels. 1, you got 3. You got the movement crest. You got the defense, the attack. And I could show you more, but once you get into the game, like, there's also the special attack for special abilities, depending on the creature and the card text. So I hope this is a good explanation, you guys. Obviously, like I mentioned, you could comment, ask me for more tips, or just watch Dungeon Dice Monsters from the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series, and maybe you can learn a lot more, because sometimes explaining isn't really enough. It's better if I try to show you the game, because then maybe you have a better understanding. But that's just my advice to the game. So hope you guys check my notifications. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.